Welcome to 5 and 5 from the One Stop Co-op Shop, where I discuss 5 key elements of a game in about 5 minutes. I'm Michael Kelly, and today I'm looking at Hadrian's Wall from Renegade Games. And a disclaimer that I was sent a review copy of this one. I'm generally not a huge fan of flip and writes, and I'm generally not a huge fan of solo Euro games, so does the combination make this one a winner for me? Let's find out and get to the list. So my number 5 for the game is the way you score, and it's a mix leaning con, at least for my personal preferences. Like in a lot of solo Euro games, you're just trying to see how high your points go and beat 70 if you can. And at least for me, beat your own score is a bit boring. I like having an actual opponent to compete against or some kind of objective to achieve. But on the positive side, actually calculating your score is super quick and easy. And the optional solo campaign that you can print out does offer like objectives and things to go for and kind of complicate the basics of this scoring. So there are some good sides. But again, it's not going to win me over for my personal taste. I just don't love this kind of scoring. My number 4 is also a mix leaning con, and that's the way the Picts attack at the end of each year. So as you do things, especially over here on the left side of the sheet, you'll be building up these cohorts to defend yourself. And then at the end of every year, you flip up a certain number of these fate cards, looking at which of 3 angles the Picts are attacking from. And if the number of attacks exceeds the number of the cohorts in those sections, you take disdain, negative victory points. If not, you gain valor, bonus victory points. And on the positive side, this does have some nice tension. It is exciting and a bit scary to flip over the cards. It does force you to kind of adapt, and you can look back and see like which sides have come out more, so you can prepare for them and defend the right sides better. And usually that tends to take care of you to some extent. And they do have some mitigation options if you guess wrong through diplomats and through temples. But all that being said, this is one of the few random elements in the game, and I do find it very frustrating when I've built like pretty good defenses and then I just get like, 5 of a single side in a row and lose a ton of victory points, not really through any fault of my own. And also, while thematically it makes total sense that you have to defend the wall, that's like the entire point of Hadrian's Wall, the fact that you're pushed to always get a decent number of cohorts, like you really can't win the game, at least I don't think you can, maybe I'm just not good enough, without hitting these cohorts pretty hard, does feel like it limits the variety and like strategy differences from game to game. And speaking of strategic variety, my number 3 is again a mixed leaning con. Sorry, Hadrian, but that's the like large scale variety game to game, how different it feels to play it. And on the positive side, one of the main things is that solo campaign I mentioned. They give you like different constrictions for each of the 16 forts you can fight. But the more frustrating thing for the game about me is that nothing really changes very much. Like you do get your victory point cards in a random order each time, and you're picking from a pair. So that can change things up. But I wish we had more of these, and I wish they like had a bigger impact on the game to really change things up. Playing the game time after time, yes, I'll go for like different buildings, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But I still feel like I'm doing the same basic thing. Like the game really comes alive for me in the tactical choices, and not as much like if I'm going to play the game again, I know that I'm going to do some things on sort of like repeat. And maybe that's just me getting into like a strategic rut and not being creative enough in how I play the game, but it doesn't feel like I'm going to discover new things. It is what you get. It's like a lot of Euros. Like there it is. You're not going to be surprised by the game each time you play. But my number 2 is finally just a mix instead of a mixed leading con. And that's the variety in like what you can actually do kind of tactically game to game. And I do think this is pretty cool. So like you've got, gladiators, which have sort of their own like little mechanic to go through. You've got temples you can build. You've got the theater where you can like stage a show each year. You've got trade goods where you like try to interact with the cards from the other players and such. Or you can do this little spatial puzzle with scouts. So this is kind of neat because there are different ways to go, and I don't tend to do the exact same things every game. I do think some are better than others, but again, I'm not scoring 70 points in the game, so I'm probably wrong. Probably missing like some really great buildings I'm just not building. But there is some nice variety here. Now, is it really like exciting for me as a player? No. Like the little like extra mechanics you get from maybe the like gladiators and scouts are like vaguely interesting, but it's not really feeling like I'm doing something like super cool and unique each time I play. But I do appreciate that like they have different kind of ways to go, especially with these civilian tracks, and that you're not going to be able to have time to do everything each game. And like sometimes the scoring cards you get will push you in different directions. So you do have a different tactical puzzle each game. Yes, some elements are going to repeat, but not all of them. But finally, we get to a full-on pro for the number 1, and yay, it is a great thing in the game, and this is something I do think Garfield Games does an awesome job with, and that's the combo nature of the actions you take. So you have 4 different colors of meeples, you have these resources, and you're using them to cross off different boxes. But the great thing is that, like, when you cross off this box, it'll get you another one of those. And then, ooh, that'll let you get one of those. And then, oh, that'll get you one of these to get you one of those. And that'll get you one of these to get you one of those. So especially like in the 3rd through 6th year, I would say, like when you get more things to play with and you're getting further along tracks, you can just have combo after combo after combo after combo. Makes you feel so clever, makes you feel so powerful.
Overall, I think the players who will most enjoy Hadrian's Wall are solo Euro gamers who like medium weight games with a lot of combo actions. Paladins of the West Kingdom is a really close comp for me, at least. But on the other hand, if you like really light Euros, if you like super heavy Euros, or if you like a gentler flippin' rights, I think this one might miss for you. And finally, for competitive play, if you're looking for a Euro with tons of interaction between players, you're not really going to get that here, so I'd look elsewhere. And if you want to see the game in action, I posted a full playthrough recently. Good gaming, and I'll see you at the next stop.